class. This week we are going to be learning all about Mr. Wayne Thiebaud. Do some pop art in the style of Wayne Thiebaud. Wayne Thiebaud just celebrated his 100th birthday this year. Pretty amazing, right? Yeah. So we're going to watch a few videos, which I've linked on your page, and you'll get to know a little bit about Wayne Thiebaud and see some of his great pop art. And we're all going to do some pop art inspired by Mr. Wayne Thiebaud. Here's a picture of Wayne Thiebaud. Wayne Thiebaud is an American artist, and he's known for his colorful paintings of sweets. He was born on November 15th, 1920 in Mesa, Arizona, and he grew up in Long Beach, California. When he was 16 in 1936, he worked as an apprentice at Walt Disney Studios. He was called an in-betweener. His job was to draw the pictures that connected to the more important frames. From 1942 to 1945, Wayne Thiebaud served in the U.S. Army Air Force, where his skills as an artist kept him out of combat. He worked in a special division as a graphic artist and cartoonist. In 1956, he took a year-long sabbatical, and he went to New York City. While in New York, Wayne Thiebaud visited many galleries, and he was rejected by a few. But eventually, he persevered, and he got a showing in New York in one of the most famous galleries. Even some of his paintings are hanging up in the Met. Wayne Thiebaud is famous for using complementary colors in his artwork, and he also used the element of art that we call value. He liked to show the difference between lights and darks in a painting, and that is the art element of using value. Now, I'm going to show you a scale of value. These are tints and shades, and you can see how it goes from light blue to a darker blue. And Wayne Thiebaud used this a lot to show depth in his artwork. Wayne Thiebaud also used color, which is a principle of design, and he used lines, and he also used what we call repetition to make different patterns. So he just repeated the same colors or the same shape for repetition. Now, let's create our own Wayne Thiebaud inspired artwork. All right, guys, since we are practicing doing our 3D Wayne Thiebaud cakes, I'd like you to take a sheet of paper and fold it into a 4 square like you see me doing here. And that way you'll have 4 sections on each side to practice on. All right, so I'm going to write my name down here, and hopefully you write your class code on there. I'm going to start at the top, remember, with our ellipse, and then 2 lines down, and make it into a top hat, and we keep repeating those steps even to the bottom when we get to our plate. All right, don't forget to add a horizon line because it's sitting on a table, and that's just your basic cake. All right, so again, we're going to take an ellipse. This time I'm going to do this one a little topsy-turvy. All right, and remember to bring those lines together. You can always rewind this video if you need to. And I'm going to bring that line around to the sides, 1 down, all the way across, and put my horizon line back in. Now this one I'm going to start to decorate. So I'm going to make some cake strips just by making a wavy line. All right, and I'm going to repeat it on each layer of my cake. I may be able to add some different little decorations here or there, whatever you like. Take some circles, and you can add some details to the bottom of your cake. Just remember, go all the way around. Remember, this video is sped up, so slow down, take your time. I'm going to add some wavy lines. These are just lines and patterns that you're adding in. So you can add in any type you like, just to give it a little bit more visual interest. All right, and I'm going to take my next square. Sometimes it helps to fold your paper again. And I'm going to make another cake. This cake is going to be a little different. So I'm actually going to cut a piece out of my cake. So I only made that circle, and I kind of made like a Pac-Man shape. Then I put a dot in the middle, and then I made kind of a triangle or a V. And I followed that parallel line at the top and the bottom, and that gives me my slice of cake. Rewind that back if you need to. And then I'm going to continue the rest of the steps, bringing that ellipse around 2 lines down, kind of making cylinders and making a little one for the plate at the bottom, my horizon line. And there I have a cake with a slice cut out of it. So this one I'm going to do a couple different more patterns. Remember, think about lines and the variety of lines that you have. Zigzag, wavy lines, loopy lines. You can do any kind of lines that you want, all right? And remember, repetition is good because you're making a cake and you want to kind of make it uniform. So you can make each layer a different type of layer, but try and repeat your shapes, okay? All right, so I'm going to repeat that wavy line right in there and just making some spaced out circles in there. Pretty simple. All right, so for my last square, I'm going to practice again. And remember, you can flip this paper over and you also have 4 sides on the back. So when you get a cake that you're happy with, you can go ahead and make your final draft. This one, I'm adding a candle and adding a few more details on there. So you can add as many or as little as you like if it's a birthday cake. Remember, Wayne Thiebaud is celebrating his 100th birthday. So we definitely want to give him a candle, right? Yeah. All right, so our last square, we're going to try again to practice our cake. Remember, practice, 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 and you'll get it. So this one, I know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of going freehand, and I'm making a cake with some drips. And this one's a little bit more advanced. So if you want to try this one, you definitely can. I'm still doing the cylinder at the bottom, but I connected the drips along the side to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. This one, I'm going to do a spiral, 2 curves on each end. Can you think what I'm making? Yeah, I'm making some flowers on this cake. So this is a really fancy, fancy cake here. And I'm making some loopy lines, and then I'm going to use some shapes at the bottom. Pretty cool. Keep practicing with your practice work today, and have fun, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.